Lottie Dottie, Silicon Steve Valley, and we are on the precipice of Clash in the Castle. Will Drew McIntyre walk out your new world champion? Will Bayley and Piper Niven tear the house down? Will Chad Gable finally overcome and get his first singles title? And will Cody Rhodes make AJ quit within 20 minutes or 25 minutes? And another match, too.
Hi, Sponsor Cheap Pops. You're on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your best Clash at the Castle preview you're going to see on the damn internet, because we are the very best on the internet. It is that simple. I tell you all the time. One of the fastest growing channels the last 2 months you'll ever say, and we keep on pushing it. Lottie Dottie, are you ready for Scotland? Clash at the Castle, Glasgow, Roddy Piper's work, hometown. I'm excited. Are you going to be able to watch it at all live on Saturday? Or are you going to catch it later?
I will probably catch it later and probably watch a little Braveheart to get in the mood, and then segue on over to Clash at the Castle and really enjoy it. But I probably won't watch it live. I'll catch it probably later on Saturday night, and especially there's a couple of matches that have piqued my interest, especially the Intercontinental Championship and the championship match with McIntyre.
Yeah, we can't get in. We're going to do those two last. By the way, I never questioned if Piper was from Glasgow when I was younger, and now that I'm older, he had a blatant Canadian accent, like blatant. How the hell are you telling me he's from Glasgow? I always wondered why he didn't have more of an accent. But either way,
well, we saw the kilt, heard the bagpipes, and we're like, yeah, makes sense.
It works enough. Hey, we know Duke the Dumpster Josie was really a garbage man, so.
He wasn't. But yeah, so that's where we're at with this this pay-per-view, or this was it PLE is the term?
We can call it whatever. It's still a pay-per-view to me, John.
Yeah.
It's still real to me. By the way, we already recorded the first four matches. Well, I'm sorry, we already went through the first four matches, folks, for full disclosure. And somebody didn't hit record. So we have to do it over. But we didn't do the best part, so that's going to be a little organic, but we'll do our best here to run through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all good. And with that, let's start off as we did previously, where we are going to lead off with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, which just so happens to be a triple threat. We got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who's the champions, against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, or Isla Dawn, I'm not sure, which
the
is
witches
really voting well.
Spooky,
They're witches.
Spooky witches cauldron. Oh God, their shit on NXT made me want to vomit. They were in front of a cauldron. What am I, 10 years old again? Christ's sake. Gimmicks like that don't get over on the main roster, for the record, everybody. So I think they kind of dropped it looked like. But anyway, I mean, as we both, I think we go, Jade and Bianca is not losing anytime soon. So they're going to be my pick. Even though I'll say that Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark should have a great match with them, and I could see them beating them at some point, because I think they have their moveset, and I think the way they carry themselves is indicative of something that could feasibly beat them. But won't probably happen until, I think, is this in the first part, when Jade turns on Bianca.
Yeah,
and we'll get that at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill probably will spin off to a feud with Shayna and Zoey Stark. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm there, man. And honestly, I mentioned in pre-production too, like Bianca Belair and Jade are so dynamic together. Like, this is really good for Jade, and
protects her too.
Protects her absolutely, because she's learning from one of the best. So. Yeah. I kind of hope that they don't just go and look to split them up immediately. I wouldn't mind having them do over a year run as a tag team here, honestly.
I think WrestleMania they'll be facing each other next year's WrestleMania, so I don't know a year is going to happen, but I mean, even if in the women's division, if you hold the title for 6 months, you did something right.
Yeah, definitely. But it's just like there's through tag team history, there's been certain tag teams that set their mark, and I always think of like the Road Warriors. And there's that air of dominance that they had. And not that they were the greatest at matches and all that, but you know what? They were believable. And
there were
now
a lot of
with
great tag teams that made them stars, that helped make them stars, though. And I don't know if you have
definitely.
that division right now. That's where someone like Starks and Baszler could come
Baszler, yeah, absolutely. And then they sort of, they help each other. And that I think we're on the verge of maybe something like that, but we'll see. But for this at the Clash at the Castle, I'm definitely on Team Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill here. So the next, let's do the WWE Women's Championship match between Bayley and Piper Niven. If you don't mind, I'll go first. Just making it short and sweet. I'm going with Bayley because it's not her time to lose just yet. But Piper will have a hell of a memory for sure.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think Bayley wins this one as well. But as I said in our first run, I think that Piper Niven, particularly with Chelsea Green as her mouthpiece and her kind of sidekick, even though Chelsea's as entertaining as anybody in that division, I think that could really make her a major player in the main event scene. However, I will say I wouldn't mind them going back to the tag team title scene either. I thought they were two of my favorite. They were probably my favorite women's tag team champions of all time at this point in time. To be honest with you, I loved them, but I'm a big mark for both Chelsea and Piper.
They're both really talented, and Chelsea is great on the microphone. Her facials are awesome, like when she's doing her interviews and stuff, and just the way she interacts with different wrestlers in the locker room to management itself, and she's this incredible Karen sort of personality, and it works. It just works, even though she's not older or anything. It just her attitude and how she approaches things, and it really reads well. So, and then for her to have somebody as talented as Piper with her sort of legitimizes her, and I wouldn't break up those two for a while, honestly. I like what's going on there.
Yeah, and they seem like they have a good friendship this time, where they first was kind of like Piper just wanted to be the tag team champion. So, again, both very, very talented. I think I would like to see Chelsea have a world title run, though, at some point within the next year or two, because she's not old in terms of, what we think, but in terms of women in wrestling, she's not young either. So, we see women, maybe not anymore at Triple H's, but we've seen women have been forgotten sometimes when they get a certain age in WWE. So.
They're not attractive, pal.
They're not young, blonde, and attractive with big boobs. And I can't shit on them.
Jesus.
Hey, verbally, like shit all over them because they're not attractive. What do you think I meant?
I don't know.
You and your potty brain, sir. But yeah, Bayley. That bit might have been better than the first one. That might have been better than the first time we previewed that match. So I'm feeling good about that one.
That's good. Let's line up the next one. We're going to go with the undisputed WWE Championship. It's an I Quit match versus two former Bullet Club members. And Cody Rhodes, who's the champion, against AJ Styles, who faked us all out with his best Mark Henry impersonation with his pseudo retirement. Cody fell for it hook, line, and sinker like a dummy.
Suto with that cheesy blue suit he was wearing.
It was a nice one. It was powder blue, man. I appreciated it.
How did the 70s style come back in suits? How did that happen? They were the most tackiest, worst looking freaking things, and now everyone's wearing plaid and powder blue. How is that attractive? But anyway.
It works.
It does not work. It looks stupid. Sorry.
Listen, when people think fashion, they think you and I, so they're totally entertained with this conversation right now.
Well, I'm wearing black because it's slimming.
Gray because it was clean.
Well, I don't think, again, this is going to be a great match, and it's going to be probably honestly, in terms of bell to bell, will probably be the best match on the night because AJ doesn't seem like he's capable of having a really bad match. And Cody is very good. Cody is great. He's like a Cena. When he's with somebody that is a 10 performer, Cody can have a 10 match. So with that said, we know Cody's not losing to AJ Styles. I'm not sure where AJ and his two buddies. We did shit on Gallows and Anderson a little bit last content, but I don't feel like doing it again. I don't know where AJ and the OC in general with Gallows and Anderson go after this. But there's no way Cody Rhodes loses this match to AJ Styles at all. And AJ will be screaming the words, "I quit."
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Cody, there's no way Cody loses. He's just adding to the resume at this point, but it's going to be a good feud for his world title reign so far. Like what happened in Lyon, France was, pretty magical. It was a good match. Now they're following this up again here in Europe. And you know what? It should be something to like basically have in our memory banks for the near future, at least, as you mentioned earlier. So I agree with that too. So with that being said, why don't we take a little stroll over to the WWE Intercontinental Championship match between champion Sami Zayn against everybody's favorite leader of the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable.
All right. Well, I believe Chad Gable is going to win his first singles championship. I think he resigns with WWE. The work he has done and the body of work, he's been with WWE for over a decade at this point. The body of work this kid has shown to become as big of a star as he is, giving bad gimmick after bad gimmick, long hair, ready, willing, and Gable. Shorty G, and he even the beginnings of the Alpha Academy was kind of a joke, and he made it work with Otis. They both made it work, and now he has had a shift in his character from being an annoying heel to a courageous babyface, now to a devious heel and a real player in the singles division. And I think he wins his Intercontinental title. And also, I don't think Triple H loves having people lose titles just willy-nilly like that, unless someone gets hurt like Rhea Ripley did. So I just have a feeling Sammy's one of the guys that can afford to lose a title that quickly. He's still over like we're over with the fans. He can still be a big part of what goes on. So those are the reasons why I went Chad Gable on that. How about you, Vladdy?
For similar reasons, his work has been incredible. And I've seen most of this rise even from NXT. I remember him trying to sell Jason Jordan on Ready, Willing, and Gable, and I'm like, what is this horse shit, really? And then you look at it and he was involved in some great tag matches, and I'm like, man, this kid's talented. Mm-hmm. Finally makes it to the main roster. And we had the old pervert there that just wanted to torture the guy and maybe just toy with his career. And luckily enough, he hung in there just long enough to see a positive day in a new regime that appreciates his skills and his talent. And honestly, we mentioned it earlier too, the crowd, the way they're reacting to him with the "You Sucks" chant, it might as well be Kurt Angle. And they're understanding the connection here. I wouldn't be surprised in the future when we see him lay out Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? So this is really something special, and I think this is the first step where he's going to have his major singles title. And honestly, the Intercontinental title is a great workers title, and that guy is an absolute great worker. You have a situation even through these steps in this storyline with Sami and everyone involved has been awesome. Mm-hmm. And they've actually raised the level of Otis, where Otis is such on the verge of becoming such a huge baby face in this company. Mm-hmm. And again, it's great. It's just incredible. So we have all this going on. And as you mentioned, Sami can afford the loss. And he's almost like, if he loses, he's a little bit of a martyr in ways. He basically, he was trying to do the right thing and then, just got upstaged. But he's still living for the next day, and he's going to do it his way.
Yeah. And again, I'm with you. I'm wondering, though, because we both think the Creed brothers are going to be finally put together. That would be the best way to do it. But I think Chad Gable wins first, and he's going to be really abusive towards Otis, and Otis is going to turn babyface either on a Raw over the next coming weeks. I think you're going to see probably a SummerSlam Chad Gable-Otis match. The question is, I can see Tozawa turning babyface as well, and Otis. I'm thinking Maxine Drake might be a wild card here because her skill set might be best to be a heel as a valet. Yeah. She can cut a promo when she was a heel. Now she's kind of being the damsel in distress babyface. Yeah, so I could see her still being with Gable when this is all said and done, and her actually turning heel. I could see that. Yeah. The only thing is part of Gable's story is that he's married with a kid, and I don't know. if that's what
Yeah,
happens.
but she's, it doesn't necessarily have to be, romantic, if you will, but maybe it's just her saying, oh, look, he became successful. And now, he's with not those losers, he's with the Creed brothers.
Yeah. Both are going with Chad Gable to win his first singles championship in WWE after a very, very long and not always an easy career. So, that's what I wanted to ask you. That's what I not even want to ask you. I wanted to say what Chad Gable's getting, and then we can move on. Chad Gable's opposed to Angle. Chad Gable's getting legit heat. Like, people are hating what he's doing. And he's doing a great job where Angle got heat, and he was great, but also a lot of people liked him because he was kind of goofy. Yeah. He loved milk. He had the hat. It's true. It was kind of his version of the shoosh thing. But he was able to get over so much that he wound up winning a world. Vince woke up one morning, he's like, let's put the title on Kurt Angle. And then he had a nice little baby face run. And then, of course, he became a legend after that. But Gable's doing something, I think he's striking real anger, something that would make Bubba Ray proud, how much heat this guy's getting right now. Without a blowtorch. What a great line that was.
Thanks.
Did you catch the flamethrower?
Oh, yeah. That was the one way he was able to get any heat.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, his heat is real, is like true with the fans, because just the way he's getting in Otis's face and just smacking him around, just bullying him, and then just talking down to her and talking terrible to the other dude, man. It just you want to fucking hate this guy.
Wasn't it funny when he made Maxine read his criticisms of them all to Sami Zayn?
Yeah, that was where that turned for me. That whole this story just turned for me at that moment.
Yeah,
and I thought it was a great little way to handle it. And of course, he snuck attack him from behind. It was just perfect. And I'm like, oh, there's something to this one, man. And so this is, I've been most interested in this storyline, even more so than the current deal with the bloodline at this point, short of Heyman being directly involved. So
yeah, the bloodline's kind of at simmering right now. It's not moving to a simmer. Yeah. It's not really boiling, if you want to even call it a simmer. I think it's struggling to get going, but that's a story for another time, which we'll get into on our next podcast. We'll be dropping early next week, Monday or Tuesday next week, if you are listening to this particular broadcast, as we get ready for Clash in the Castle. So what's next? I think Vladdy Dottie, we only got one more left. I got to be honest with you. I think our second go with this might have been better than the first one. I don't know.
There's a good chance.
Oh man, but now, so we got through it, and now the pièce de résistance. Drew McIntyre going into his home country against Damien Priest. Lottie Dottie. I have a feeling this is the one that we're going to differ on, and you are the current Purple Nurple champion. Beat me soundly like a drum. I had a nice little two-month run just because I got lucky at WrestleMania. Thank you, Sami Zayn.
How many did I beat you by?
I forget. I was on vacation doing chemicals. So.
Oh, okay.
There's that. So I insured that one. You can insure it again if you want. You usually do that, but
no problem. So we got the World Heavyweight Championship match. It's champion Damien Priest against Silicon Steve Valley's personal man crush, Mr. DM Hunk Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna let you go first, pal.
I am going with none other than Drew McIntyre. Mm-hmm. It's time. This is the reward, in my opinion. He needs to have this title. He does not lack star power. He's operating on a different level and has been since WrestleMania and previous to WrestleMania. So this is definitely his moment to shine. There's been a little bit of a vacuum where let's put it this way. I wouldn't say Cody has replaced Roman. It's a little different, right? We spun off. And at Raw now, not saying Damien hasn't been a decent champ, but honestly, is he the guy that you want to continue moving with this? My opinion's no. He got the title. That's something on his resume. Now it's time to solidify Drew McIntyre. give him the strap in front of the fans, in front of his hometown. And I understand he's a heel and everything. He's sort of the anti-hero in a lot of ways.
He's a baby face in my world.
Right. So it all depends on, your personal angle with him. So, I think it's time. And then it's going to lead to, of course, to a feud with CM Punk.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely where we're heading there. Here's my thing, though. I thought about it. First of all, you're in Scotland. You're in his home. And it literally his home. Probably grew up somewhere close to that venue. The Scottish crowd is going to go ape for Mr. McIntyre. He has worked it. He has earned it. He's gotten himself over to the point where I think eventually he will be a babyface. He's still, if you see him coming down, he's still slapping five with fans. So he's not turning on the fans unless they're turning on him.
Right.
And that was one of his mission statements when he first turned heel. Is like, if you're one of my fans, you'll always be a fan. You understand where I'm coming from. And I was like, I understand where he's coming from. I guess I'm a fan. Yeah. And then obviously all the fun he's been having at the expense of one Charles Montgomery Punk. With all that said, and it is time, he does deserve a nice world championship run. Here's where you're probably right. But I disagree, and I went with Damien Priest, and here's the reason. You're trying to make his title reign legitimate. Losing it this quickly, because he's not winning this title for a very long time after he loses it. He's just not. Too many people, too many stars. He's not that guy. I think, to your point, he hasn't been a great champion. I think he needs to, if you want to elevate him to a main event guy, he needs to win this match. And I think Triple H might know that. And I also don't know if Triple H would have had him win the title, even though it was such a great moment. So maybe that's what it is. He'll always have that amazing moment with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40. But for me, I think they need to solidify him as a main eventer. And I picked all three Scottish cats to lose. So,
You're crazy.
Yeah, I think I screwed up. I probably should have picked Piper Niven on that, but then I would have lost both of them. So, but I'm probably crazy. You're probably right. And in retrospect, I think you need Damien Priest to have a better run than this. What does he have? One title defense?
The other thing,
Job center 2? I don't know.
The other thing, I think they basically have laid traction for this Finn Balor turn, because the whole Liv Morgan thing where she's with Dom, there's like inner turmoil within Judgment Day. I think they're going to implode Judgment Day, and that'll be a distraction for him to lose.
I disagree with that. I think Finn Balor has been a great lieutenant for him. He's been trying to look everybody out. Finn Balor's been a guy who's been trying to keep everything at bay. So for Priest, he's like, no, big man, I figured it out, big man. And it seems like Balor, his heart is in the right place for Judgment Day overall. And then you're also adding Carlito, it seems like, to the fray. The question that we posed a couple weeks ago, is it a possibility that the entire Judgment Day turns on Priest in this match? And has Drew McIntyre become one of the lead dogs there? With maybe Liv? I don't know. But we definitely know Dominic wasn't there at the end of Raw. He was in that hotel room with that hot Jersey girl.
But the thing is, Finn Balor's the one that took the hotel key card right before his match.
Finn and Liv. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's going to make Dominic a babyface, and that's not happening.
And what it makes is Finn a heel.
Interesting. Yeah. They've done a good job. I haven't cared a lot about the Judgment Day. I'm not going to lie to you.
The other reason I think this, too, is because when Damien Priest was out in the ring with McDonough and Balor against McIntyre at this most recent Raw, Priest put Finn on, basically in the match against McIntyre, and they had an interesting camera angle to Finn. He kind of looked like, are you almost like you're putting me against this guy, and it wasn't all like, oh yeah, boss, I'm going to go do this. It was like, So that with the hotel key card and him always getting involved and in between Dom and Liv, if you look at it, he's been the buffer. Why is he always involved? That's my thinking. So,
yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I will say that Finn didn't look happy, but he didn't look overall upset. He didn't sell it like he was upset about it either. I know that moment you were talking about, and I honestly forgot Baszler wound up keeping the key.
Yeah, that's my thinking. I think it's a little bit of an implosion happening.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's one of those that, I mean, how many times do we have these preview shows? And I pick a stupid pick. And then after we're done, I'm like, God, you're right. I'm going to lose this one. So it's probably the same thing. It didn't happen at WrestleMania, though, pal.
You'll always have WrestleMania.
It's pretty much all I'll have. It's been a joke. Well, that's because you're the reasonable one, right? All right, so the only difference is going to be the biggest match of the night. Drew McIntyre, you. And by the way, remember when I had my one run, I had a couple wins or maybe 2 or 3 wins in a row. I think it might have been 3. We'll call it 3 since I don't think it was. I think it was 2. But the reason I won is I kept on picking Drew McIntyre, and you kept on picking against Drew McIntyre. That's the sweet irony of this situation. So, Purple Nurple Champion, Vladi Dottie, this has been your Clash at the Castle preview, the premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, on WWE Network this week. So definitely check it out. I'm probably going to be able to watch it live, and I'm sure my daughter will love watching it with me. Right, Evie?
Fuck off!
Thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. For Vladi Dottie, this is Silicon Steve Alley. Hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and here endeth the lesson.